right, guys and girls, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. Long time no see. Glad to be back. But yes, you did read that title correctly. The SRT4 is back. We are not in her right now. She is getting some love. I had some terrible bearing noises after getting the transmission fixed. Jacked the car up this morning and there was a lot of play in the bearing itself. Recorded a bit of the work that I did, but not a lot. So I had to pry out that bearing. The condition of it was so bad that the bearing broke open and was stuck inside of the spindle. So what I'm doing currently is I'm on my way to the LKQ, the junkyard, to grab a spindle off of one of the base model neons that they have out there. So luckily for me, it is a beautiful day. It was raining all day yesterday. It's not crazy hot, just kind of warm, perfect weather. We're getting this thing finished so I can cruise around for the rest of the day and enjoy my Sunday. But like I said, guys, I'm more than happy to have the SRT4 back. It is driving. Ooh, when we hit a dip, it is driving like a dream. Just like I said, outside of that bearing noise, but we are going to get that figured out right now. We'll pick back up once we do get over to the junkyard. All right, guys and girls, so we are on our way back to the junkyard for a second time. My first trip there, my axle socket or whatever, my 32-inch socket or 32 mil socket, it wasn't deep enough to be able to get enough bite on an axle nut to pop that out so we could get that spindle out. After being in the first time, the base model neons, their calipers are made different, or at least there's an extra piece coming off of the spindle itself to support the brake calipers. So the base models aren't going to work. What I'm working with right now is a PT Cruiser. For the most part, from looking at it, it looks exactly the same. I did take a picture of my original spindle as well, just to be certain. So I had to grab an extra 32 mil socket. I grabbed the jack pole just so we pry a little bit more. And we're heading right back over here real quick. They close at 5. It's currently about 3:48, so we got time. But I'm just trying to do this as cheap as possible. I did look up the part on Google. I think it's like $163. I don't feel like spending that. And I don't even know, I highly doubt any of the Advanced or AutoZones in my area would actually have that part for me. So like I said, we are on our way back to the junkyard. This is our last trip to the junkyard, and we're gonna get exactly what we need. All right, guys, so as promised, we just left the junkyard for a second time. We did get the part that we needed. Once again, it was a spindle off of a PT Cruiser base model. It's the exact same lug pattern, the exact same spindle setup, so we are in the clear. It is now time to go get this thing thrown back on the car and finally get back behind the wheel, let you guys see this thing rolling. You guys haven't seen that in a very long time. We are back at the SRT4. So just to show you guys what we were working with real quick. Okay, where's the new bearing and hub? So for those of you who don't know, this is a bearing. As you can see, fits onto the back of the hub, press it in, and it allows it to rotate. Now, as you can see on the inside of the old, or let's start on the outside. On the outside of the old spindle, this is chiseled away and chipped because I tried to hammer the bearing out, but with no luck, it seized. Now, when I got the bearing finally out of the car, like I said, so these are just some of the lining from the original bearing. And then here we have the original hub. And as you can see, that's actually a portion of the bearing stuck to the hub. So originally I bought the hub just thinking that it would come with the bearing because that's how the cobolts were set up. And I thought I was just going to return the hub. But now seeing that the bearing is actually seized to the hub, just going to have to go ahead and completely scrap this hub. And with me putting in this entirely new spindle, it has a bearing in it and a hub on it as well. I'm just going to go ahead and take my chances with it. It can't be in any worse condition than this hub was. So we're just going to play it, see what happens. And then more than likely, I'll either keep these hubs in this extra bearing or just return them and get my money back. So let's get this thing installed. right, guys, so I got a wild one for y'all. This has been a crazy video. So I was just driving the car. Today is Monday. Yesterday was Sunday when we started recording. I was driving the car, went to downshift at a light and put it in third. RPMs just went to the red line. Tried to put it in second, so on and so forth. Didn't grab any gears. Pulled over, checked the shifter cables on the transmission itself. It wasn't those. And then did some research online, and they told me to check, if we get it in the camera, told me to check the shifter bushings itself. As you can see right here, there is no bushing. Somehow the bushing itself obliterated, I guess over time. It just has never been changed, I'm assuming. But we just went, my boy Josh came and scooped, shout out to you. Just went and picked up a new bushing kit, so we're gonna get this changed real quick. But this video has been crazy. I'm just glad this car is back. It's something simple. I thought we lost the trans. I could have cried. Fixing the car, this is what it turned into. These clowns. I knew. Anyway, so we changed the bushings. I took a look at the clutch and flex plate. What else? What else I do, Carlos? Bushings, clutch and flex plate. I messed with the shift selectors. I messed with the shifter itself, the crossover, all of it. My boy Dylan, huge shout out to you, man. Came over here and took a look at it for me. He said he thinks it's the shift selector itself, so it's just a 7-bolt plate on top of the transmission. I got to get that pulled out. I'll do that tomorrow. Also, I'll double check the axles to see if there's any play, because this car is LSD. So if one axle isn't fully in, then the car's not going to go anywhere at all. So yeah. What you say? What you say?
That shit ain't LSD, bitch.
It's gonna gap you. You gonna get the GAP from that LSD.
I got no part.